Well, good morning, folks. It's time for the fifth and final installment of our narrated garden tours. I can't believe it's taking 5 tours to get through the whole garden, but it is a pretty big one. So this time we're going to be concentrating on the center of the garden. So we'll begin our tour just on the other side of this little fence here. There's a bed over there that is right adjacent to the driveway. And it's flowering really nicely right now, so let's take a look at that. Let's get started. So leaving the patio for now, we'll walk along this little path here that gets us to the driveway. It's mid-September now. It's been rather warm lately, expecting a high in the 80s today, and a bit dry. Things are still looking pretty good. We've got some road construction going on, so hopefully we won't get too much background noise. We'll zoom around here and take a look. And it's flowering very nicely with a big patch of painted daisies, I believe they are. It's a plant I brought in from our last house. And they're really just starting to open up and really looking thick and full. So I believe this is some type of chrysanthemum. I'm not real sure about the exact name of this plant. But it's putting on a real show here. And is a nice complement to the purple sculpture. So we've got some creeping thyme ground cover there. And this plant is a peony. It's one of the Itoa hybrids, the intersectional crosses between the tree peony and the herbaceous peony. It's nice. It's called Bartzella. It's very showy in flower. Got some balloon flower there that bloomed earlier in the year. And on the fence there is a clematis called Polish Spirit. And at the end of the driveway here, we've got this little gate with a tulip theme. With a couple of cast iron planters that I picked up at an antique shop. And this is one of my concrete creations here. Got some mosaic inlaid into that concrete. It's kind of fun. And this is a piece that I created a number of years ago. Sedum planter with some sculpture inside. So this gate was here to accommodate a turf paver driveway which led down to the building below, which we used to have as a garage. We've kind of remodeled it into more of a finished space. The overhead door has been replaced with some French doors. But But this turf paver driveway is still in place. As you can see with this grid here, more easily up above. So we'll go through this opening here. And take a closer look at the turf paver driveway here. This top part has been planted with the creeping thyme. And down below is the grass. And this planter here was created with some lumber that was reclaimed from another project we had. I put a wash of stain on it, blue and purple color. And inside right now I have some strawberries. These are an ever-bearing type of strawberry. I had a lot of winter kill on these over this past year, but they're coming back now and finally starting to give me some flowers and fruit. I've had various things in this bed over the years, some herbs and different things. Just kind of a fun space to experiment with. So underneath, got some decorative iron pieces. So continuing on, I've got a couple of begonia planters there. Still looking pretty good. And this area has a lot of the ground cover thyme. There's a little geranium and some Virginia in there, and some dianthus. I'm going to get a little construction noise today from the road construction. I was hoping I could get up early enough to beat them, but no, they get started early. So this piece is made from a chandelier, a light fixture that I picked up at the Restore. Just painted it up and took all the parts off of it, and it makes kind of a nice, interesting little sculptural element. Oh, there goes the chippy. So we'll continue on. We've got a tree here. This is a Japanese tree lilac. It's got a nice shape and nice bark. I do get my husband to get up there and deadhead it as much as possible after it's finished flowering, because it does want to seed around. It could be a bit on the invasive side is what I've heard. But it makes a nice small tree in the garden. So we've got a path going up to the patio through there. And this bed here, we've got some native plantings. Mostly what you see here is little blue stem. It's a selection, a native var selection of the little blue stem. I've had some seeding too, so it's been filling in. This particular one is a little more upright and a little more blue color. So buried inside this grass is a witch hazel shrub that we planted this year. At some point we'll get fairly large. And we've got a few arborvitaes placed around. This one is a decor spire. And this tree here is a paperbark maple. So this paperbark maple has been in for quite a while. It had some damage to the trunk at one time, so we had to cut a big part of the tree off. So that is where the original trunk used to come up, where it was cut off. And so it sprouted out a bunch of more branches, which we've been kind of thinning out. But it's a really beautiful tree. Of course, the bark is just the showstopper of this tree. And also it gets great fall color. So here's stepping back and looking at that tree from the other direction. The paperbark maple. Really nice tree. Very slow growing. So we've got a few containers still putting out a little color here on the patio. Got some ajuga as a ground cover. It kind of comes and goes underneath the paperbark. There's a few sedums in there and a lavender. Some lungworts. And other native plantings in this area. We've got some things that have been popping up from other parts of the garden. Some culver's root, some ironweed. The plants with the tall seed heads there that you see are the native delphinium elatum. And there's also some penstemons in there and coneflowers and a few other things. So nice mix of natives in that bed, but mostly dominated by the little blue stem. So on the other side of this grass path, we have a narrow bed where I've put some dahlias in, and some cosmos, little cosmic orange cosmos. Plant with the blue flowers is the great blue lobelia, the native. Got a calamagrostis. Some more cosmos over here. And a big salvia cultivar. I always like to plant a couple of these salvias right adjacent to the patio so that we get to observe the hummingbirds at them. They really like these plants. So also in this bed, we've just added in the last few weeks, this tree here, which is an autumn brilliance serviceberry. It's a little tight in here for that tree, but we really wanted to have some shade for this patio. And this will stay a fairly small tree. Hopefully give us some nice shade. It's getting to be a little wooded area in here with all these trees. So on the other side of this concrete path, we have another tree. And this one is a magnolia. It's one called Rosemary. It was hybridized by a local breeder in the Green Bay area named Dennis Ledvina, who has passed away, but he was responsible for hybridizing this particular magnolia. So it's nice to have a locally hybridized tree. It stays really narrow. It gets very large pink flowers. Unfortunately, this year the squirrels decided to eat all the buds, so we only had a few flowers. I've never had that issue before, but hopefully that won't happen again. So stepping back and taking another look at this area. And here we have a little path going to the area of grass. Got a lot of stones in here and concrete creations. This piece of art is actually a hose guard. And there's another one over here. Hiding in the salvia. And there's a little bee enjoying the salvia. This plant here is an early figwort, a native plant that I put in there for the bees. It has a lot of nectar. Behind there we've got a hydrangea. This one is the vanilla strawberry. This hydrangea's been in here a while. It's gotten some good size to it. It's weighed down by the flowers right now, which are just starting to brown out a little bit. And tucked away behind the hydrangea, got a few more cosmos here, some sedums behind there. And in this little fenced-in area, we've got some raspberries being weighed down. Got some berries coming in there. This is the fall-bearing type. And we've got a path leading back to the service area behind the garage. So this building was originally constructed as a garage. I used it as a workshop and place to grow plants. This window here is where my grow room area is. And we can take a look inside there quick. Some of my bee photography there. So this building is a little living space. And in this room here is where I grow a lot of my plants. And this is the grow room area where I get a lot of my seeds going. I store a lot of plants over the winter. Keep a lot of the house plants, tender plants, like the staghorn fern. I've started to bring some things in from outside. Got some tillandsias that I just brought in. So these tillandsias like to be in this environment over the winter because I can keep it fairly humid in here. So we're set up in here with some good grow lights. And tables, growing tables. I feel very fortunate to have this space as a grow room. Going back outside now. We enjoy this patio space. So here we have a little plectantherus. And this great old antique iron planter that I found at an antique store. Some nice aloe vera plants. And a little collection of sedums over here. So moving up the sidewalk here, these little shrubs are some potentilla. Put on a nice flowering show all summer. That path leads to the part of the garden we've seen before. And this flower bed has got a lot of annuals in it. The alyssum takes on a nice deep purple color when the nights get a little cooler. So this patio area has a roof over the top to keep things dry. So with the roof area here, we're able to keep these padded chairs out at all times. These patio chairs I've had for over 30 years. The chairs are a great quality chair, but they had gotten quite faded. Fabric had gotten quite faded, and it's not the type of cushion that you could replace. They were kind of designed specifically for these chairs. So I created some slip covers for them. Try to give them some new life. And this piece of furniture we picked up at the restore. Painted it to match the slip covers. It's a great old dahlia there, nice big one, sending up a flower. This plant here is a clivia or clivia. And in the back there we've got some orchids that are blooming nicely. We've got a little guy up there keeping an eye on things, or not. So it's kind of fun to decorate a patio area. Put up a few curtains this year, a little fabric, various little hanging pieces that I've made. Some more dahlias there. And you can see my love of bumblebees on this wall. So these are bumblebees that I created from old barn boards. And the iron pieces I picked up at the restore were really cheap. They're big, nice quality pieces. Frame came from an antique shop. So it's kind of fun just putting these things together and creating vignettes. And this center table here was made from a piece of the trunk of the giant ash tree that we took out of the front yard. We found this stand for it at the restore. Came off a different table. It's a beautiful thing. And on this side of the patio, we've got some houseplants and various annuals. This nice piece came from an antique shop, and it's super cheap. It's got a copper basket in there to hold the plants. And this great old wall shelf here, also picked up at an antique store. This is an old light fixture. I think it has a nice architectural, sculptural look. And we've got some more dahlias up there. So here's another look at that patio area. And just a few more plants on this side. Begonias looking nice. And another little seating area over here. And here's another one of the concrete potheads. The Mannyberry behind there is starting to get some nice color. And the structure behind the patio here, we created as an observation tower to be able to go up and have views of the garden. So I'll just move this little basket out of the way. And we can go up into the tower. So I designed this tower as a work of art. Got some heavy dew on it this morning. But it offers nice views of the garden below. Built a little bench seat into this observation area. It's nice to come up here and get the overhead shot of the garden. And these are all the areas that we visited today. From this vantage point, you get a view of the giant lizard that I have created on the patio with some acid stain. And some nice overviews of the garden. And we're right in the treetops of the nannyberry. Garden's still looking good in mid-September. Well, that'll do it for today's tour. I hope you enjoyed this look at the central part of the garden. Things are still looking good. We've got a lot of activity in the garden right now. We've got a lot of bees and the migrating monarchs coming through. So there's a lot of fun out in the garden right now. We've got the fall color to look forward to. So we'll keep enjoying the garden as the season progresses. And I hope you're out enjoying your garden too. And I hope you think about planting some natives in your garden to help support the pollinators. Bye for now.